Okay, so what it is, this video is another preliminary test of my Cascade V57. There should be a video prior to this one in my video list as well, because I think I'll have put both of these live. The idea is I'm trying to find out what is the best way to power and amplify my Cascade V57, one in a close mic position, and two as it is now up here in a boomed position. Now the thing is, I think a bit of the basket's creeping in on the bottom there, or the head of the mic. That's not a problem, I can get that out the frame. It's just in the right position, you know, where it is to try this test. So it's just to see how it sounds up here. Now the thing is, on the previous test I'd had a lot of RFI, so what I'd done, I went about desoldering and soldering cables and such to change the shield point on the cable so I could shield to ground and case on the microphone itself. Unfortunately that didn't make any difference. So what it is, I went about just grabbing a few different cables to see, you know, if there was going to be any difference in the cables. And the weird thing is, I found a cable which is one of them cheap nasty ones that comes free with cheap nasty mics. It's a fully balanced XLR, but there was no way I was expecting it to be any good. Anyway, this cable that I'm on now is the cheap nasty cable, and it's the one that works. It at least works on the Saramonic SmartRig. So that's like, it's really kind of, you know, it's phased me a little bit because I wasn't expecting that. So anyway, right now I am on the phantom power supply. So the camera's doing all the preamplification and I'm on the power supply. And if anybody watches this and they're a bit more interested in this particular test with this microphone, there should be, like I say, another video prior to this one, which is where it's in a close mic position. And I think I might give a bit more information on that. I need to try and keep this one a bit shorter because it really, I don't know if it's going to get swamped with RFI. So right now, this is the phantom power supply, and it's basically just power on the mic, and then the camera does all the gaining as well after the phantom power supply. So yeah, this is just the first part of a three-part test, or a three amp test as it were. So it's this now. Now what I'm going to do is get onto the Saramonic SmartRig, which is what I did test it on and heard that there was no real RFI going on, and then I'll try my Behringer UMC202. Okay, so over onto the Saramonic now. Okay, so I've now just switched over onto the Saramonic SmartRig, and what it is, it was actually the SmartRig that I was on earlier on when I'd realised that the cheap cable was the one that was rejecting RF, you know, which is mad. So it's going to be interesting to hear if between using the phantom supply and going straight in and letting the camera gain, or using the Behringer, as to whether they're going to reject as well. So yeah, really odd. So I think at the very least, this particular setup now, which is this cheap XLR cable with the 57 going into the Saramonic, and then the Saramonic doing all the heavy lifting and such in the power, and obviously for the 57, yeah, just this might be the way to do it. I also had the quick listen when it was low as well, no, in the close position, and it was fine, you know. So maybe it's this cable, the Saramonic and the 57 for booming and the low stuff. It's just going to be interesting anyway to hear this back with the silent section to see what happens with the RF. Okay, so what I'll do then, I'll get onto the, let's see, the Behringer now, and then I'll do my count and whatnot at the end as well. So this is now the Behringer UMC202HD. Again, I'll just do a little bit of talk and see how this comes out. Interestingly, it's going to be interesting to try and work out as to whether or not the lack of RFI using this particular cable only affects maybe the Saramonic. I don't know, because I've not tested the Behringer yet with it, or indeed the first take with the phantom power supply, taking it straight into the camera, and then the camera doing all the gaining, because the phantom power one is normally the one where I'll get most interference. That's only because the camera is doing all the gaining. When I normally pre-gain, things such as RFI can be dealt with before the camera. But yeah, nonetheless, it's going to be interesting just to see what's going on in here. Yeah, so I think that's probably enough dialogue just to get an idea as to, like, if there will be slight tonal changes between each way of amplifying, but it's just to work out, is there that much of a difference to be worried about it? Because ideally, I think I would really like to use the Saramonic, because I've used it for a long time and I really like it. There's nothing wrong with the Behringer and there's nothing wrong with the power supply, but I have a feeling that the Saramonic is maybe, it's not quite dead flat with its amplification. I think maybe it might do a little bit more just in the lower end, and it may also help a bit more with my sibilant voice. Yeah, okay. I mean, with it being up there, it'd be less chance of sibilance and stuff and all the rest of it. But yeah, I'll just see how this all pans out. So what I'll do now, I'll do the count test. Then I'll do the bit of silence thing at the end, and hopefully, at least the Saramonic is not picking up RFI during the silence test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so that'll conclude this preliminary testing to see if I can use my Cascade V57 coming in on a boom, and just to see which way is the best way to power and amplify it and such. And again, if this is open on my test channel, if anybody has come across it, I wouldn't mind if somebody would like to leave, any kind of comments in the comment section and stuff, just to give me an idea as to, how other people have perceived this test. And hopefully as well, the close mic test, which should be the video before this one, in my video list as well. And then what I'll do as a result of both of these tests, I'll probably do like a short video on my main channel, because if people can find this microphone secondhand, they're probably going to get it dead cheap. And I think it's extremely versatile. And the issue that I have with this mic with RFI is only because I live right by a massive repeater station for our local radio stations and stuff. So, and I've actually had RFI on other microphones in this particular location as well. So it's not that the RFI is just unique to the V57. It's just something that happens, you know what I mean? Anyways, yeah, so if anybody has watched this, thank you very much for watching this video. Take care and goodbye now.